Welcome to the Cop Shop Podcast, our weekly compilation of police report oddities and curiosities. With host, Telegraph reporter Joe Kovac Jr. He says he passed on grass, but it apparently didn't matter. About 8 o'clock one night in late September, a young man was on a friend's porch watching his children play with a neighbor's kids. They were on Henrietta Street, just off Telfair Street, half a dozen or so blocks southwest of downtown Macon. The man, 26, later told the police that an older fellow who lives nearby waved him over. According to a Bibb County Sheriff's report of their September 29th encounter, the older guy, 64, offered the young man a marijuana cigarette. But the 26-year-old declined, the report said, because, quote, he had just left rehab. The older fellow apparently insisted. He called over to the young man's wife, trying again to persuade the young man to smoke. The young man, the report went on, told the guy, quote, not to involve his wife because there will be problems. And then the young man began walking off. But as he did, the young man said the other guy threatened him, saying, I should just gut you right here. To which the young man replied, if you do that, I will shoot you. It was then, according to the sheriff's report, that the 64-year-old, quote, took out some type of weapon and started to swing it at the younger man. The report said the pair started to fight on the ground, adding that the older man cut the younger one in the left side of his neck. The man who was cut went to a city hospital for treatment, but not before another guy, a fellow with a pistol, supposedly came up and, as the report put it, put a gun to his head and said, if you snitch, I'll kill you and shoot up your place. The call went out as a fight in progress at 5-Star Dodge Chrysler Jeep, an auto dealership at 3068 Riverside Drive in North Macon. A 40-year-old salesman at the car lot said a man in his mid-20s, quote, began speaking with him about trading in his car for a truck, a Bibb County Sheriff's report of the September 26th episode noted. When the salesman told the guy he couldn't do that because of the customer's finances, the customer got upset about his current car, which he says the salesman sold him 2 years ago. The report doesn't mention what kind of car it was, but it does say the patron followed the salesman into the dealership, quote, with balled fists, yelling at him. The salesman, the report goes on, told the guy that he could no longer help him and that the guy needed to leave. The customer, though, continued to yell and follow the salesman with balled fists, the report added, noting that the salesman again told the guy to leave. When the customer refused, the salesman, quote, felt threatened and then punched the customer in what the salesman and an eyewitness said was self-defense. The customer was cited for disorderly conduct. Now from our dispatches files. A 56-year-old North Macon man had already made it to a city hospital when the police found out he'd been shot. The victim later told a Bibb County Sheriff's deputy what happened. According to the deputy's write-up of the September 2nd incident, the man was sitting on a toilet in his Springfield Boulevard home, not too far from Springdale Elementary School. While he was sitting there, he was holding a handgun, trying to clear the M1911 pistol when, according to the report, the gun went off. The report went on to note that the man stated he had dropped the magazine from the weapon and was attempting to ride the hammer of the weapon forward when it slipped. The pistol fired and a bullet went into the man's left leg just above the knee. The bullet exited the other side of his leg below the knee. After the bang, the man said that at first, quote, he could not speak and heard ringing. The report said when his wife entered, Quote, he asked if she was okay. She said she was, and then the two saw that he'd been shot. The report went on to say that the man described the episode as an accident and that the bullet was still in the wall at his house. Late one night last month, two men went into the C Mini Mart on Houston Avenue in Macon. The store sits across the road from Pendleton Homes. One of the men, according to the sheriff's deputy's write-up of the September 27th incident, stole a can of Coors Light beer. The other shoplifted a bottle of iced tea. A clerk at the store later showed the deputy footage of the tea theft. The thief, the report said, took a can of brisk tea, quote, from within the cooler and stuck the can in his shorts in between his legs and walked out.